I was eating breakfast when my dad said we had maybe 30 seconds to leave before the spoon was halfway to my mouth when Dad appeared in the doorway. Phone still pressed to his ear. 30 seconds, he said. Maybe less. We go now. I stared at the cereal milk dripping back into my bowl. This wasn't real. We lived in suburban Connecticut. Dad did accounting. Mom taught 3rd grade. We were boring, safe, normal. Dad grabbed my shoulder hard enough to hurt. Liam, move! Right now, don't pack! Don't think, move! His hand was shaking. I'd never seen my dad shake. Not when Grandma died. Not when he lost his job. Not ever. Mom was already running toward the garage, sobbing. Actually sobbing. Dad screamed at me. The raw terror in his voice finally broke through. I ran. Dad fumbled the car keys. Dropped them. Picked them up. Dropped them again. His hands wouldn't work right. Mom was hyperventilating in the passenger seat. I dove into the back. The garage door was opening too slowly. Dad started backing out anyway. Metal scraped against metal as we hit the door. Then we were in the driveway. That's when I saw them. 2 black SUVs blocking both ends of our street. Men getting out. Dark clothes. Moving fast. Professional. One reached for his hip. Dad floored it. The car jerked forward. He cranked the wheel hard right and we jumped the curb into the Henderson's yard. Mrs. Henderson was watering roses. She screamed. We destroyed her flower bed. Shouting erupted behind us. Foreign language. Not Spanish. Something Eastern European. Dad aimed for the gap between houses. We hit a fence at full speed. Wood exploded around us. The car went airborne down the embankment. My stomach lurched. We hit bottom so hard my teeth clicked together. The seatbelt cut into my chest. Dad kept driving, following the drainage ditch. Branches scraped the windows. Rocks hammered the undercarriage. I looked back. 2 men stood at the top of the hill. One raised his arm. I saw the gun. The back window exploded. Glass everywhere. Sharp pieces in my hair, on my clothes. Mom twisted around, reaching for me. Are you hit? Liam, are you hit? I didn't know. I couldn't tell. Everything was shaking. My hands, my legs, my voice. Dad hit the access road. Tires squealed. We merged into traffic on the main road. He finally slowed to normal speed. My ears were ringing from the gunshot. Mom was crying. Dad's knuckles were bone white on the steering wheel. Nobody spoke. After a full minute, I managed to get words out. What the fuck just happened? My voice cracked. Dad pulled into a grocery store parking lot, parked between 2 minivans, turned around to face me. He was crying. My dad never cried, ever, through everything. Job losses, deaths, arguments, nothing. But now tears ran down his face. I'm sorry, Liam. I never thought they'd find us. I thought we had more time. Find us? Who were those men? Why did they have guns? Why did they shoot at us? Mom had her face buried in her hands. Her shoulders shook. Dad wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. My name isn't Robert Chen. The words hung in the air. It's Dmitry Sokolov. I'm not an accountant. I was a federal witness. We've been in protective custody for 14 years. The cereal I'd been eating wanted to come back up. I swallowed hard. Stared at him. This man I'd known my entire life. You're lying. But even as I said it, I knew he wasn't. Everything suddenly made sense. Why we never visited relatives. Why we had no old photos. Why Dad never talked about his childhood. Why we moved 3 times before I turned 5. Why Mom seemed jumpy around police. Why they checked every lock twice before bed. Why we had that weird emergency plan they'd made me memorize when I was 7. Your real name is Liam Sokolov, Dad said. You were born in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. Your mother's real name is Katya. We were in the witness protection program until about 15 minutes ago. Were, past tense. Mom finally looked up. Her mascara had run black streaks down her face. They found us. After all this time, they actually found us. She started laughing. Not happy laughter. The kind that comes right before you break completely. Dad reached over and grabbed her hand. We're alive. We got out. That's what matters. I had about 1,000 questions. They all tried to come out at once and got stuck in my throat. Finally, I managed one. Who were those men? Dad's jaw clenched. Russian mob. Bratva. I testified against them 14 years ago. Put away some very powerful people. They've been looking for me ever since. Russian mob. The word sounded like something from a movie. Not real life. Not my life. You testified? Against the Russian mafia? You? I gestured at him. At his khakis and polo shirt. His receding hairline. His reading glasses hanging from his collar. He looked like every other suburban dad. He looked like an accountant. Dad reached down and lifted his shirt. A long scar ran across his ribs. Puckered and old. They tried to kill me once before. That's when I agreed to testify. The FBI offered me a deal. New identities, new life, protection. I took it because of your mother. She was pregnant with you. Mom made a choking sound. Covered her mouth with her hand. I'd seen that scar before. Dad always said it was from a car accident when he was young. Everything was a lie. Every story, every memory, every birthday and Christmas and family dinner. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out automatically. Text from my best friend Justin. Dude, FBI at your house. What's going on? My stomach dropped. I showed Dad. He grabbed my phone and turned it off. No phones. They can track us. Did you bring anything else electronic? That's when things get out of control. Full story is linked below or on my channel.